Actually, I have some Tistina action for you today. Drytron's leaping into action, and yes, we have the Melodious as well. Make sure you guys smash the link, grab out that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. Now, I've seen this duelist coming through a couple of times, messing around with Tistina. This is not their first, race out here to try to do well. They've had very big success on a local level, which, I mean, anything can really perform out here, but they were one slot off from actually performing into, a major part of the top cut out of the last German event, which is a little bit disheartening to see, but, you're also playing Tistina, and you've got to understand that, this deck does inherently have some major challenges that it has to, kind of overcome. We're also only dedicating one slot down here to the divinity that defies darkness. Yeah, that's right. We're just sticking one copy of this in here because Varutus is going to be more of your major go-to piece. Having Varutus be able to be that, negation / pop and helping you along the way is very, very good. I also see that this build has gone extra far out here, is actually playing the Terror Top package with the Takumtumborg in here as well, just to make sure that you can get to that extra little gas and continue on through those play lines to do your thing. Now, we are playing the one Silhat trick in here to be able to pull off of Mr. Rabbit, which is kind of cool. I do think sometimes that the Azarune does end up being a better card, usually, but, you have your options available to you with whichever pathway that you necessarily want to go down, which is, I guess, kind of fine. But overall, I mean, Destructive Droma Cannon is kind of going to be your friend. Most of your Tistina numbers, it's not like these cards are incredibly good, but, their job is to put things face down, and your job is to clean those up and make sure, you can play the game. Also, only one copy of Tainted the Tistina. I guess this is one of those times to say, hey, if you want a nice QCR of that, you can get it because, this stuff is so incredibly cheap out here that it's not much of an issue. But we've also got the Simul Archerines down here, and of course the Dimensional Bear. But I mean, we've already got the Thrust built into the main, so we're going to be able to toggle and find those options as need be. Awesome to see. All right, next up here, LoganJYA is no stranger to the world of Drytron out here. I swear, I see Logan cooking up something all the gosh darn time out here with Drytron, usually at the beginning of new formats, telling people, hey, this deck is still very viable. And especially when people are still kind of trying to figure out ratios. A good old Vanity Fiend here, knock on wood, being able to, typically search this off of the Ben 10, being able to commit your normal summon to this at the end of the combo line and tell your opponent to, get good. Let's be honest here, having Draconis set up in this, unless your opponent has something massive, you're probably going into a very good board state out here. There are a lot of situations, though, that this board can be broken with this card right here. Thank you for using a monster effect to negate something. And of course, this build is focusing on some interesting numbers of board breakers. So we are using 2 Book of Eclipse, 2 Dark Ruler no more, but we're also relying on triple Droplet out here. Droplet's probably going to be the better option, just because you can toss a Drytron into your graveyard and then have it loaded up and ready to go. You've effectively did what you wanted to do with that. I also see we are side decking the Natasha, and we're also doing the Bateau Buster down here. Bateau is going to give you access to the unlocking. And we've seen a lot more of these lists trying to get a little bit fancier, but because, we've already got that wind access in our extra deck at essentially any point, we can bring in the Featherstorm and toggle for it off of Thrust and get a free turn skip on our opponent. We've seen more and more of that actually showing up. And of course, we have a flashback or a callback out here to Edison with some Consecrated Light. You don't really see this card show up all that much anymore. It also depends on, what do you think your local environment's going to be kind of having out here. I guess this against Malice is kind of an auto-win button. You just drop this and your opponent goes, oh, what in the world am I supposed to do about that? Well, the answer is not too much. All right, we've got some Melodious action for you here. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Melodious has been a extremely hyped up package. Like, I am honestly surprised by how much people have been hyping this deck up. Because they're like, hey, you can play this with Rizal. Hey, Rizal stuff gives you immediate access to some of the crazier, things with this. I mean, yeah, it does. You basically, just activate the scales and you're universally good to go. And I think a lot of people might not have kind of considered that option, splashability, but that doesn't mean that the pure build is dead. No, actually, pure has kind of been taking off again out here. And I'm actually kind of surprised to see that it's taken more people more time out here to kind of go, hey, you know, is this deck actually, is it viable? Yes, it is. I think the Herald of Mirage Light, basically having these hand traps that can cater to the more special matchups per se, especially when you got things like, you know, Purge down here, also being used in combination with this, you know, the amount of hand traps that you're able to use to detour your opponent feels pretty good, actually. I like that. See, we're going with 2 copies of Soprano, which is fine. Of course, you know, we have Thrust built into the main deck in here. You know, not really the greatest amount of selection available in the main deck to pull. I mean, you can get a Purge, you can pull an Imperm. You know, you can pull an Ostinato depending on what your opponent's really doing out here. I think where this shines, though, is like the interaction with the side deck. Because, you know, you have Dark Ruler and Dark Holes down here. You have basically these 6 cards should be allowing you to board break and play the game. It's one of the worst things that I've always kind of noticed that this deck had issues with was, you know, trying to go second. And it looks like this build has tried to overcome that weakness. And you know what? I think it did well. The fact that this was able to perform up to a good standard was really awesome. Okay, ooh. We have some Mermail action for you now. First thing I'm going to tell you about Mermails is, I swear, are we still arguing about the number of Abyssine that we're playing? Is it either 2 or are we going with 3 right now? Like, have we set on this number yet? Because I'm a little bit behind on Mermail terminology right now. Because last I saw, you know, we were going with 2 Abyssine and we were playing triple Minstrel. And this time, you know, we have triple Abyssine, 1 Minstrel. I'm very intrigued to see why they were, you know, reversing course on Minstrel out here. Because typically Minstrel is an extremely dumb card. Getting that hand knowledge. But I mean, if you're going second, Minstrel's literally a worthless card. You know, you don't really want to be dealing with that. So I think that that's something to really be thinking about is, you know, the number of Minstrel you want to be playing. But I mean, you're already playing 44 cards in a pile like this. You got to be very, very careful with your optimization and how you're trying to shave off numbers. And I also do see this build did choose to play the triple Dominus Impulse, which is good. This card single-handedly wins you free games. We're also only playing 1 copy of Lancia with the 1 copy of Sanctum, but we're also playing triple copies of Thrust to be able to toggle for this. But on that same logic, we're also only playing 1 copy of the Dimensional Barrier in here as well to kind of get that forced turn skip. And I see we're also playing an Ultimate Slayer in here as well, depending on which pathways that you need to go down in here, just so that, you know, you can kind of do what you need to do. Realistically, outside of that, also only playing 1 copy of Poseidra feels a little bit weird. I swear most of these lists we're trying to do too. I also do see that we're doing Porpoise in here. Okay, I haven't seen hardly anybody trying this out, but I suppose that this is a cute little option, but I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, your major go-to pieces are usually going to be, you know, Thrust, toggle into whatever else you're going to need. And then our last list is a 60-card tier pile. You know, I'm not surprised to see somebody out here cooking with tier stuff because, you know, Vanilla Unicorn's still going to be the mid-range control. You know, you're able to pull into the rest of the package out here because, you know, the combination of names. I do see that we have the triple Malicious in here just so we can get things going. You know, rounding it out at 60 cards I think is fine. Grass should be getting you to a majority of places you need to be. We're also playing 2 Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, which is going to feel a little bit clunky at times. I don't think it's terrible, but, you know, you want to get into the walls of the Imperial Tomb just to kind of get to where you need to go, or, you know, maybe one of your other field spells, but I feel like this is going to be the go-to here, you know, getting the good old Tortoise up and running. We're also doing 2 Tribute Karma in here. Makes sense. I mean, let me tell you, the amount of times I draw this card makes me really, really sad. And of course, holy crap, you got the triple Book of Eclipse, the triple Crossout, and the triple Dark Ruler no more in here. And they're even bringing in Lava Golems to detour their opponent. Like, yikes, man. You have so many interruptions rolling through here. Like, this deck is actually kind of insane. Like, I feel bad for any opponents that are going to roll into this and just get absolutely devastated by what's going on here. Yeah, I didn't expect to really see any Tearlaments success out here at the moment, but I think that this is one of those situations that you just kind of got to appreciate, you know, seeing this deck still doing extremely well in today's meta. And I'm not surprised, really. Like, this just kind of proves how well things are right now. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.